you've got to be authentic, and video is the best way on LinkedIn to be authentic. So you have to get over yourselves basically and promote yourselves authentically on LinkedIn by using video. A lot of people go, no, I can't do video. But they'll do a video on Facebook or Instagram or YouTube. They just won't do it on LinkedIn. It's like, what's the difference? On LinkedIn, at least you actually have to make sure you're authentic in a professional context. So do use video. And it's very easy to actually, use the phone. These are the best video equipment at the moment. Do a video and then upload it very simply on your mobile or on the laptop. Really, really straightforward. So, and I did a test. So when we opened up a new office in Cecil Street, I did a video saying what our journey was. It was 5 minutes long. And I put it on YouTube and got a massive 35 views. And I have no idea who any of those people are. Because on YouTube, you don't need to register. But on LinkedIn, you do. I posted the same video at the same time on LinkedIn and got 20,000 views. And I know exactly who the comments are, the likes are, and who viewed my profile as a result of the video. And that's the difference, it's the data. LinkedIn has data because you register. YouTube has no data because you do not register. So you want to know that your content is actually being seen by people who then you might want to do business with in some format.
Chris, did 20,000 people turn up for your drink?
That would have been fun. We'd have had to hire the sports hub if that was the case, wouldn't we? But Simone Heng's fantastic at doing this. Now, Simone Heng, as many people are nodding in the audience, basically, she's a radio personality, but she's a smart radio personality because she realized that she's actually very, very authentic and brilliant on camera. She's also at MediaCorp, she does McDonald's adverts and so forth as well. So whenever she does a particularly good song that she likes, she puts her phone up, literally puts her phone there and dances. She dances to the songs. And she's showing how much she loves her job. And she puts a little story at the top saying how much she loves it, why she loves it, what the story is behind it. And she gets a phenomenal amount of likes and comments, talking about, for example, her career in Dubai. So she's telling a story and sharing a video. And you watch her videos, you can't help but smile because it's fantastic. I love her t-shirts as well. Iron Maiden. But without the video, look how her engagement levels plummet. Literally 7, 8, 9 times less. People want to see her videos. And she's realized this and she does more and more videos, but she wants to be a keynote speaker. She wants to be a coach. She realizes that being a DJ in Singapore is quite limiting. So she's going to use that platform to express her personal brand and take her career forwards. And that's the key, taking something offline, online to actually tell people about other things you're doing. Get your personality across, which is what Simone does. She gets so much work because she shows a video of her having fun at work. And people can see she's a lovely, bubbly personality. And they want her for something for their marketing. You should also mix it up. Sally does this in Australia. So she does videos, phenomenal engagement, but she also does these kind of comments, these kind of short posts. Now, personally, I'm not a fan of these, unless they have some authenticity to it, or unless they're a bit longer than just one line, which I think is a bit lazy, but she gets phenomenal engagement. So it depends what you want to do. Steve Blakeman and Tony Hughes do the same thing. Oleg in London does it really annoyingly as well. So annoyingly that I actually stopped following him because I just got annoyed by all the things like this. Be positive, what do you think? Be negative, what do you think? It's like, this isn't basically very insightful, this is basically lazy.
Chris,
yes?
Well, on the same person, Oleg, huge number of words. But he wants to have a recipe that works. And what can we take from that without being annoying? You can be the Chief Human Resources Officer for the largest online publication in the entire world, the Daily Mail Online. I mean, if you're basically you're the CHRO for that publication, which has 100 million viewers a minute, then of course you're going to get 100,000 followers on LinkedIn. He doesn't really have a job, does he? He basically does its easiest job in the world. He posts something and tells everybody on the Daily Mail online that basically he's posted it, and suddenly 1 million people go to his profile. So it's quite an easy, I mean, his content, whether you like it or not, is basically for the masses. And he gets that. You look at some of the comments and they're just inane sometimes. They really are. Yes, question?
Is there a way to identify any fake profile?
Any what, sorry?
Fake profile.
Yeah, fake.
Oh, fake profiles. Luckily, LinkedIn has some AI, some clever AI, where it goes around looking at fake profiles and duplicate profiles. That's why you hardly get any fake profiles on LinkedIn. You also get the users who will actually say, this person didn't work for me or this person's fake. And you can also normally spot it. If I get someone like, Colonel Gaddafi's daughter every now and again comes from Libya and says she wants to connect, I go, you're clearly on the run. You haven't got time to do your LinkedIn stuff. You're clearly on the run. You've got your gold. You're on the run somewhere. You haven't got time for this. And you can Google search someone's photograph. That's what I do. If someone looks dodgy, you Google their photograph and you find. I had one, for example, for a bank in England, the Halifax Bank, and but it came from America. And I went, but the Halifax Bank isn't in America. And the CEO wanted to connect with me from America. Why? And I Googled him, and I Googled his image, and he turned out to be a Lithuanian general. Which is not clearly someone who was running on his company, his brand. So there are very, very few fake profiles on LinkedIn. It's very, very good for that. It's not like Facebook, where there's about 1 in 3. It's not like Twitter, where there's about 1 in 4. Not like Instagram. There are no bots on LinkedIn. LinkedIn's AI is more sophisticated, but they care more. And that's why LinkedIn's advertising rates are 10 times Facebook's. Because you get quality and professionals on LinkedIn. They only want 1 billion professional users. They don't want 4 billion, 5 billion that Facebook want and Twitter want and Instagram want. It's not about the numbers to LinkedIn, it's about the quality. So you rarely come across those kind of things. Do you have a question?
Yeah. Chris, can I check, what's your view on linking or connecting with people working in the same organization? I have colleagues who say, don't send me requests. We are working in the same company, no point connecting.
Is that just you personally or other people as well? Have you talked to your colleagues whether they get the same thing? It's just me. I think you should. As a leader as well. If you're a leader of a company, you've got to be connected to your own workforce. And if your peers don't want to connect with you, either they're leaving or you're leaving, somebody's leaving. So it's very, very odd if you don't want to connect with people, I think, in your own workforce. Okay, it's LinkedIn, it's not Facebook. So it's not personal, it's not friends and family, it's professional. It's your business. It's like saying you're not going to have coffee with them or share a water cooler with them or go to the hawker center with them. It's like, well, why not? Your work colleagues.
Maybe it's out of good intention. Don't waste your 30 days.
It could be that as well. But you see that Sally does, for example, pictures like this for looking meaningful and thoughtful. Yes?
So your thoughts about quantity versus quality of contact.
Mm.
Because some people say, if I just link, thank you very much, accept everybody or accept a lot of requests, then you end up having so many, as opposed to you want to keep it individual or just the people you really care about. Because what I've noticed is when I go to the activities, and then you have recent activities and top activities. And I always think I want to hear about the people I really care about, I'm interested in, and if I then have someone who just posts, and it's all every day I look at my LinkedIn and there's 200 posts per person.
But then you can, precisely, that's what Oleg did. So that's why I stopped following his feed. I'm still connected to Oleg because I want his 30,000 connections in London. But I've hidden his feed and I don't see any of his feed. There's also a very annoying woman in America called Bridget, whatever her name, she's got 1 million followers. And I'm connected to her, but I don't want to see any of her posts. So I unfollow her, I basically hide her posts, hide her feed. So you can do that and then LinkedIn looks at that and you no longer see that. You can also LinkedIn's algorithm kind of kicks in. If you like something, then basically LinkedIn then boosts it up. And if you use things like hashtags, which I'll talk about in a second, you'll also be able to follow that. So you can iterate your content to make sure you can see the right kind of people. And ultimately, if you don't want to see someone's content, you either hide them, unfollow their feeds, or basically remove them as a connection. So you're in charge of it. So it's up to you basically how much you want to do about that.
Sorry, just on that.
Yeah.
On the other side, if we try to avoid that happen, people hide your post, is by posting interesting articles and valuable for other people to view to the 411. Is that
correct. Yeah, totally. So then Sally does things like this. She does infographics. But it's her videos that work. Her videos time and time and time again. People want to see Sally. Now, a lot of people say to me, but both these examples, Chris, are very attractive females. Does that mean because LinkedIn is a male-dominated platform, because it's more business, that you have to be attractive? And I say, no, look at this guy here. He just posts like this. So a great example of this is, I love kind of countering what people think about LinkedIn. So I did this post on Sunday. And normally people say you shouldn't do posts on LinkedIn on Sunday, but actually I target SMEs and entrepreneurs who also work on Sundays. So I did this post about this fantastic book, which you should definitely read, called The Reputation Game. Really, really brilliant picture. Really, really good book, very authoritative. So I did a 10-minute video, which again, people say, no, don't do 10 minutes, do 1 minute, do 30 seconds. Rubbish. If the content's there, people will watch it. So I did a 10-minute review of this particular book, and I even tagged David Waller and Rupert, who actually wrote it, on a Sunday, and then I got Rupert and David on a Sunday to write back to say, that's the best speed date summary of my book I've ever had. So I've suddenly got into his feed now by giving back to him. This didn't benefit me whatsoever. I've literally just genuinely shared a fantastic book which can benefit my followers and people who like and share. And David and Rupert were absolutely delighted that I actually did that because it highlights their book. And other people were saying, that's fantastic, yes, I've read the book, it's fantastic, I love the book, it's brilliant, when's the next book coming out? So by giving back and doing videos, even on a Sunday, that is up to about 10,000 views at the moment, even though it's posted on a Sunday. And it's still going. It's still going. Even this morning I was getting likes and comments on it this morning, for example. So you have to personalize it. So when you share curated content, so I shared something from, say, Rolling Stone about Elon Musk, you have to actually put a little comment up there about what you think. Same with something like Mark Ritson. I like Mark Ritson because he's very controversial. So I took a quote from him which basically said that of his content, 30 people supported him, 38 people were neutral, and 32 people think he's a tosser. And he thinks that's brilliant. He thinks that's just about right. Because if basically you're not polarizing the audience, you failed. And you can amplify your medium and your event appearances. So for example, I was on Money FM. Now it's not about being on Money FM because no one listens to Money FM. And I made the mistake of talking to the CEO of MediaCore and said, yes, I'm appearing on your station, Money FM, tomorrow. He said, that's not my station. That's the people who want to be 938, where people actually do listen to radio. So, oh, okay then. So I pre-promoted it and I recorded it. And then we put it on LinkedIn because more people will listen to my interview, 20 minutes long that it was, on LinkedIn than they will do on the actual radio station itself because people are at work. It was at midday. People are at work or the hawker center, they'll be having lunch. So it's about using offline and then online to amplify. Same thing with this. I do a lot of interviews, put them on things like YouTube, podcasts, and it's about getting that onto LinkedIn to amplify it. Jane Jackson does this in Australia, for example, very, very good, does a podcast series. And it's brilliant, but she amplifies it by using LinkedIn. So it's offline to online because you get more kudos by doing it online, by giving back to people, by doing this online. All about amplifying through LinkedIn. When I'm doing this, for example, so we've got a conference coming up on Monday where I'm chairing the video marketing conference, I'm letting people know on LinkedIn. And when I'm at conferences or events, I'll take pictures. So I went to this amazing event with the Finnish ambassador about how you use Lego to make decision makings. It's brilliant. Yes?
I understand you're focusing on LinkedIn, but what's your view on the personal branding in other platforms like Instagram? You mean they're not, they don't have professional images?
They do, but it's very B2C. So Instagram and Facebook is, to me, B2C, and it's mass, whereas LinkedIn's professional. You don't need to be professional on Instagram, and you have no idea who that person is. If you want to be Kim Kardashian, then yeah, by all means, go on Instagram and have 500 million followers and become an influencer and so forth. But if you want to be professional, LinkedIn is the platform to be professional. So that's why we focus on LinkedIn. I'm not even on Facebook. I'm not even on Instagram because I focus completely on LinkedIn. I want to be an expert about LinkedIn, so I basically make sure I know everything about LinkedIn. I know nothing about Facebook, absolutely zero. But it depends on your profession. If I was a B2C brand, I'd be using Facebook and Instagram. I use YouTube as a platform because YouTube is both B2B and B2C. It crosses over. In my view, Facebook isn't. Facebook is friends and family. So it depends on your personal opinion. I think you had a question? Yes?
Yeah, as a business owner, and we have a company page, is it more important to spend time just on your personal page, or how do we work with the business page?
Good question. I've got the answer to that in my coming slide. So I'll answer that question because it's a very, very good question. So you should definitely tag people and use influence to make your content go viral. So for example, Simone came to our office. So I went, oh great, we can do a video with Simone and we'll get tens of thousands of views. So basically she interviewed one of my team about her experience of dating and put it on the radio show. And they loved it because they basically had an influencer, Simone, coming around talking about it. And I got 15,000 views, but it's really interesting because I got into her feeds and some of her followers are complete idiots. They were making all these comments that I wouldn't normally get on my feed, going, okay, that's a Simone follower, that's my follower. That's a Simone follower, that's my follower. And they were just chalk and cheese in terms of that. But you tag lots of people, and Andrew Pickup's very good at doing this. He basically, every single time he does a post, he basically tags every single person he can think about in that particular area. So whether they all work for Microsoft, but that means that you will basically get notifications saying Andrew has mentioned you in a post. So for example, I got one, Andrew mentioned me in a post, so I tagged him back saying I was using his Surface Pro. So that way I hijack his content and I get into his feed and I can market myself using my headline, Personal Branding for Entrepreneurs, in his feed. So I'm giving back, so I'm saying I'm using a Surface Pro, but I'm also marketing myself at the same time. So you can hashtag topics now on LinkedIn as well. So if you put, for example, social here with a hashtag, lots of different socials come up. And it basically enables you to basically hit people who are your first connections and also follow that, so they will see that feed. Yes?
How effective is this and how much is it used?
Very, very effective now. It's only been going for about 6 months, so they're behind kind of Facebook and Twitter and Instagram, but very, very effective. But you have to really own certain hashtags. So experiment with the ones you want to be known for, but it does work because you get things like this, for example. If I'm following personal branding, it comes up at the top. So if I tag personal branding, it'll come up. Something like innovation. Tag innovation. Innovation, innovation. So it'll come up because LinkedIn will then see, oh, he wants to follow innovation, because you can now follow hashtags on LinkedIn. Every time someone posts who's a first connection, it'll come up in your feed.
Hey Chris, will that come up in the search as well? The hashtag?
Yes, yeah. So if you do basically a search about how to do that, then you make sure basically it comes up.
But can you create your own hashtag, or are they selected set up?
No, you can do both. So if you look here, for example, there used to be not social selling, but I was using it so much, LinkedIn AI obviously kicked in and said, oh, we need social selling, because obviously other people were doing the same thing. There didn't used to be entrepreneur, bizarrely. It was entrepreneurs, but not entrepreneurs. So I started using it quite a bit, and then LinkedIn's AI kicked in and then iterated it. So it's adding hashtags all the time. But you can also use your own. You can have, thank God it's Friday if you really want to. You can have, it's Saturday tomorrow if you really want to. You can have anything you want. That's Victor's hashtag, yeah.
It is today.
So you get notifications every single time you are tagged, and that's with a little @ symbol. So if you take a picture of me today, for example, and then you basically tag me with @Chris Reed, it comes up in my feed. I will then tag it. You get the benefit. I get the benefit. So you get mentioned. So Stacey did this, for example. So she tagged me, she tagged my company, and she hashtagged. And that's a perfect scenario of how you basically put something on LinkedIn. Because then you get this notification. This person mentioned you in a post, mentioned you in a comment. Others like to post that mentions you. So don't do this. Nothing at all. Post things. Be the 1%. Share things.